Welcome back to The Grind for a quick Squirrel Girl rotation guide. Now, I do believe that Squirrel Girl is an underrated champion who has some great utility as well as some solid damage. So we're taking in my Awakened rank 1 6-star against this Mcoc to highlight that you can completely shut down auto block, but this also applies to evade. Now, when you are Awakened, you start off with 40 hits on your combo meter, which is important for making this happen from the very start of the fight. Because as you can see, when I first knocked Mcoc down, we put on our little fur friend with 40 charges on, and all you need is 30 in order to completely turn off these abilities. Now, if you want to go for a little bit of bonus damage, if you have more than 40, you get a burst of damage based on how many bleeds are on the opponent when you knock the opponent down, when you are applying those 40 hits to that combo meter. Now, in order to build back up to 40 hits before it expires, it's a little bit challenging. But if you do a different rotation, which we'll highlight later, you can do more of a damage rotation. But this is going to focus on trying to maximize damage while you're shutting off these abilities. The problem is you ideally want to throw your special one before that expires, but because we were special locked, I could not. So now I'm parrying, throwing the special one, and you can see when we hit with our special one, it shoots up our combo meter. And so then when we knock him down, we had 40 stacks. And all you need is to get up to 30 in order to prevent auto block and evade. So it's very easy to build up to a special one in the time. And you can see if you want to maximize your damage, you can charge heavy to pull your squirrel back and then knock him down. But you only use the combo that you had at the time, which means if you don't throw your special one to knock him down, you won't be getting your combo up as high. So the ideal way, if you must shut down these abilities, is to not worry about bursting the damage quite as much because it's not that critical. So here is an example without a synergy that increases the duration of Tiptoe staying on the opponent. There is Sasquatch synergy, which I had in the other clip, that makes it stay on there longer. But for this purpose, I took it off. So I'm not running any synergies to help maximize the time that Tiptoe is on Mcoc to prevent the ability. But you see, we can still reliably get back up to our special one in time to then throw our Tiptoe back onto him and shut down the abilities. Now, I did get knocked down, unfortunately, so that kind of threw things off, but thanks to a different synergy with Hitmonkey, we had a combo meter protection. So now we have 32 on Mcoc right now, which is enough to shut down auto block. And we're building back up our combo and our power to get back to a special one. And before it expires on Mcoc, we're going to throw that special one and reapply over 30 hits from our combo meter onto Tiptoe, onto Mcoc to prevent auto block from happening. So this entire fight, he's not going to be able to auto block us at all. And this is a very powerful ability that Squirrel Girl has to shut off auto block and evade. And if you throw on Sasquatch, it gives you that window even a little bit larger to make it much easier to completely shut down that ability. Now, if you're not quite as worried about preventing auto block or evade and you just want to maximize your damage, you stack bleeds on your medium hits, whether or not you hit them into the block or into the face. And if you want to build your combo meter up a little bit higher and get to your special 3, you can actually get into a loop where you're maximizing your bleed burst damage. And being high sig is more important for this aspect of her utility. The first sig is really all you need to get the 40 hits starting on your combo meter, which allows you to start with shutting off those abilities at the start of the fight. But in order to maximize damage, you want her to be max sig because when you knock the opponent down, the bleeds are consumed for burst damage, but when you're Awakened and the higher sig you are, you increase the chance that those bleeds will refresh after knocking them down. So now we're building up our combo meter and we're throwing off our special 3 after we parry the opponent. The special 3 puts on a bunch more hits on the combo meter, and you're going to see we're going to be consuming our combo meter quite rapidly to get additional burst damage, and that's why you want to ramp up the hits a little bit higher. So now we knocked him down, putting Tiptoe on, and we got some burst damage. So now we want to continue to stack up those bleeds on as much as we can, and then we want to parry, charge heavy to pull Tiptoe off of the opponent so that we can then knock the opponent down and reapply Tiptoe, which is what is going to give us that burst damage. So you can see there's some nice burst damage from the bleeds, but unfortunately, since we're only sig 20, we only got 2 bleeds that reapplied, so we have to stack more of them up. And then we again are going to parry, charge heavy to pull Tiptoe off, and we got some 17,000 bleed burst damage from that. And then once again, we're building up our bleeds, and once you get to your special 2, you can use your special 2 after pulling off Tiptoe with your heavy, and that's going to stack a lot more bleeds and then knock the opponent down, boom, for a 21,000 burst damage. Now keep in mind, this is a rank 1 Squirrel Girl. If you look up videos, I'm sure you'll find of a rank 2 or rank 3 Squirrel Girl that is doing this and just completely obliterating the opponent. But this is the damage cycle you want to get into, where you're pulling Tiptoe off and then with a charge of your heavy and then knocking the opponent down with as many bleeds on him as possible to get that increased burst damage. And then again here, charging heavy to pull him off, throw the special 2, throw on as many more bleeds as possible with that special 2, knocking the opponent down for some big burst damage. And you can only do it so many times because you're consuming your combo meter, and you need to have at least 40 on your combo meter when you knock the opponent down in order to get that burst of damage. And if we had a rank 3, I'm very sure that this fight would be pretty much over at this point, but we're just going to rewind to watch that last special 2 one more time. But that's all I have for this video to highlight her shutting off evade and auto block, as well as her damage rotations. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you have Squirrel Girl, I'd consider taking a closer look at her because she does have some potential that I think a lot of people overlook. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.